All right, everyone. Welcome to what should be a very entertaining and very jam-packed interview about Paraguay. I'm here joined by Ryan Aranda from Paraguay, who is one of the predominant YouTubers about Paraguayan lifestyle. At least English speaking YouTubers about Paraguay. I'll have his stuff here on screen and in the description. Go watch him if you're curious about Paraguay at all. Chances are, if you're finding me organically about Paraguay, you probably already watched him first. So he probably beat me to the punch. um, but first of all, Ryan, thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you, man.
So we
Yeah.
just recorded our interview for his channel. Go watch that one as well. Um, and yeah, what I want to do is get to know him just a little bit better, a little bit more about his background, about a little bit more about why he is here, how he's liked it, and some of the lessons and takeaways that he's gotten that he can kind of share with you guys as it comes, when it comes to lifestyle here in Paraguay. And first of all, quick background, he's a big reason why I'm actually here. And if you're watching from abroad and you haven't came here yet, I hope that he, and hopefully I as well, will be big reasons why you come here as well. I did a consult call with him before even coming here, and I just asked him, give me the sauce, give me the deets on Paraguay, and he was very helpful. Aside from having watched him for 6 months before I booked that call. Um, yeah. So Ryan, first of all, I haven't thought about these questions at all. Where should we start? Yeah, tell us a little bit about your background for a viewer, assuming that they don't know who you are. A little bit about your background,
Yeah.
and kind of your life leading up to coming to Paraguay.
Yeah. Well, what's up, everybody? I'm Ryan Aranda. My Best Life Paraguay is the channel. And this is a collab with Gen Z Expat. So hit that subscribe button for both of our channels. uh, business is business first.
Yes, sir.
um, but yeah, so my background, I was actually adopted, right, from Paraguay when I was 2 years old. In 91, when, if you know anything about our history, we had the longest dictatorship all the way till 89. So 91 was actually like the first functioning government after like a 35-year reign of Stroessner, right? So it was a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of adopted Paraguayans around the world and adopted within Paraguay. And I'm one of those babies, right? So I was adopted by my family. I grew up in Wisconsin and lived my whole life there, and then also went to college in Wisconsin. And in my college years, when I was 20, uh, well, before that, I've always had the urge to meet my biological family. All right. So I wanted to do the investigation a couple times when I was a teenager, but I finally decided that 20 years old was the right time. I did it. I found out I have a birth mother here, siblings, and an entire extended family. So then the next year, when I was 21 years old, came down here and met everybody. And it was one of those stories. A lot of good, some hard moments. But that's when I realized I fell in love with the country. I love the tranquility down here. Is very pleasant surprise. Being here, that was back in 2012. It would have been. And besides a couple years gap, I almost came here every single year since visiting, right? So to spend time with family and also just know more about the country, right? And every single time I came, I just knew that this is gonna be where I end up. I didn't know when. I always kind of assumed retirement years, but then the pandemic hit, and then a lot of us got into virtual roles. So I had some virtual experience under my belt. Now I did take quite a bit of a chance though, because I could not continue my government job. So I took savings and kind of Hail Married it down here. And now I have ended up with another virtual role in sales. But in that time, I was doing consultations, obviously this channel as well. I've been here since July 2024. So now 16 plus months, shy of a year and a half. And I love it. And I live in San Lorenzo. That's actually where we're filming here, outside Pinedo Shopping. and it's a wonderful mall. It has everything you need. Very modern, if you can tell, just from the background. And yeah, I mean that's essentially my story. And yeah, and you guys can see everything else on the channel really. When I go live, I'm one of the only people that goes live down here of the English speaking channels. Now I'm not always polished and all that. Sometimes you'll catch me with a couple of drinks in me or something like that.
Makes it all the better.
But it's authentic, man. And like, one of the biggest policies is just be honest. So what this country is and what it isn't, right? And yeah, and so I do consultations, so hit me up for that. Shameless plug. But yeah, man, I'll pass it back to you, and whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, so people who come down here have all sorts of backgrounds. Um, and yeah, for all sorts of different reasons. And you made a good point there where it's like you kind of had to take a plunge. And for a lot of you who are watching, like if you have millions and millions of dollars, you're probably not thinking about Paraguay. You're probably kind of in like that middle where like you're not dirt poor, but you're not super, super rich. Like you do all right.
Yeah.
And you're in that position where it's a little bit of a risk to come to somewhere like Paraguay. Um, whether it be the way you make money, the way you spend the money. Obviously, cost of living here is low, but you never know what you might run into. Might be sort of a family thing, or leaving people behind in your home country. Like it's always going to be a bit of a plunge. Um, so yeah, just keep that in mind. Like even someone like him who has been here for a decent bit and was very established here, had to overcome that fear. So just understand that that's normal. It's part of the process. And you're gonna have to do it. Um, so yeah, next question. Tell me about that. Like those last like few months or so that you were in the States, and what it was like really deciding like, okay, now is the time, and what were the reasons that you thought that you were thinking of in that moment? Because we can talk about why we love Paraguay since having been here till we're blue in the face.
Yeah.
But what were the reasons that you felt when you were still in America for why you wanted to get out?
Yeah, so I'm very honest about this, man. Even though it's not flattering or nothing, but I had a breakup, right? With a girl I saw for quite a few years. And that was in 20 end of 2022. That stopped. And then so the next year I was like, you know what? Because I never figured out my paperwork, even though I should have years ago. But I was like, man, I got to get there and get my Paraguayan residency. Like it was popping up. Other guys are going to wherever they're from, like Eastern Europe. Other guys going to Mexico, Colombia, whatever. And they're getting that, and I started really looking deep into the benefits, the long term benefits to getting my documentation. I was like, you know what? Let's take it one step further. Let's go down there. I know the cost of living. Let's see if we can make it for 12, 15, maybe 2 years with what I had, and let's just see if we can make something work. Right. But anyway, so that was so I planned my residency trip first in 2023. So I had 9 months, and like in the States, we signed year leases for our apartments, and the next one was going to come up, and I was like, you know what, this is probably the perfect time to do this. So I knew that I had a 9 month period from when I got back from my residency trip to when my lease was going to be up. So that was just the natural time for me to decide to come here. And unfortunately, I couldn't continue my government job because certain reasons, right? Uh, they don't allow you to work abroad. Within the states, yes, but not internationally. So I started this YouTube channel, and I talk about all this in great depth, so you guys can certainly go back and watch these videos. But specifically, what you're asking, so those few months where I came here, there's a lot of mixed emotions, man. To be honest, right? Because I never went through the whole like which a lot of you guys do, the process of elimination stuff. I'm like, I got birthright here. I already know the vibes. I understand the cost of living. I understand. So I didn't have to go through a lot of the same.
It was always going to be here.
Yeah, it was always going to be here. It was never going to be anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. Also have family in my network here, so I have folks to fall back on, like emotionally and stuff. So I don't maybe I don't feel as lonely as like maybe some people who are abroad for years and years and years. And they lone wolfed it. So I very much have my siblings and extended family that I hang out with every couple of weeks or whatnot whenever I can. So that's a special aspect about my life here for sure. Meeting you guys as well. But yeah, those 3 months, there were a lot of mixed emotions, but everything was already set in motion. So it was kind of just trusting in the plan at that point. But I also knew because this is so far away, I was like, I'm not coming back to the US for like a good at least a year. And I'm 16 months in and I still haven't been back to the US. Um right?
Nice.
But yeah, and that's I was just all in at that point. A lot of, saying bye to friends and family, that was hard, but it was necessary because I was just like, well, another thing too is, and like, I pretty much promised myself, like, I'm not going to get in another relationship in the US, right? Like I'm already 30, right? Like it's not really a game anymore. Like, yeah, whatever. I date casually here, but like to get in something serious in the US, like just beyond just the modern woman, traditional woman thing, like, it's a huge financial commitment
Hmm.
if you start getting serious and, house prices and all that. So I was looking at the impossibilities of the economic reasons in the States of continuing a life, an unaffordable life. And yes, where we're all from, or not all of us, but, those of us are from the States. Yeah, I was, houses were becoming disrespectful prices, like $500,000. I'm like, come on, man. Hey, I was just like,
True.
dude, like, do I really wanna be in all in on this US stream anymore? Like, no, I can't, man. Like, it's like, I'm not willing to waste another decade to try to figure this out, in the States. So, like, let's go to Paraguay, And, yeah, so, there's obviously some of the emotional stuff leaving, but I was just all in, man. I was ready to get out.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. 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 Yeah, that's a lot of us. Yeah, we come to that realization where it's just like,
Yeah.
well, we're ready to leave. We're ready to leave. And a bunch of different angles you can take with it, whether it's money or women, tends to be one of the two, doesn't it?
Mm.
Oh yeah, lifestyle,
Or a
freedom,
mix, yeah.
stuff like that. Okay. While we're on the topic of leaving US,
Yeah.
give me, like, speaking generally, give me a couple of specific reasons that are importantly to you as to why living in the US, life in the US is just not so appealing.
Oh my god, man. Well, I mean, first is economic, right? Above all. And, like, I was just seeing, like, my parents' neighborhood where I grew up, everything was just astronomical. And, I just knew that, I would spend a lifetime trying to create this dream that is just going to be going down the same path, man.
So mid.
Yeah. And, it was just, I'm already, I was already reaching 30. No, I was already 30 at that point. But, um, and I was just like, 30 is kind of a critical age, man.
Mhm.
Like what you're gonna know once you reach 30. I mean, you're already figuring. He's already figuring out a lot out. He's way younger. He's getting this stuff together way before I did in life, right? Or a lot of us, right? But it's just you ask yourself really deep questions. Well, when you get older, man, like where do I want to start a family? Like what culture should do I want her to be from? Yeah, get do I even wanna deal with the degeneracy in the States? Whether it's, like, the going out culture, whether it's just, like, the lack of respect between just men and women if we're women, if we're keeping it honest.
Mhm.
It's a shit show, man, like, culturally,
Mhm.
economically, and also too, I dearly love my family in the States, right? Absolutely, and but the thing is I would only see my cousins maybe once a year because we're all just so
True,
spread out.
true.
Here, like I mean, I in 1 kilometer radius, I have like probably 2 dozen family members.
So
So it's just like
nice.
I have like endless amounts of just family. Like, I mean, to the point where I feel bad that I can't meet up with people. But it's an old country vibes. It's the big family life. It's
Mm.
more traditional stuff. It's all that, you know?
Mhm.
And so, I mean, I know I'm getting kind of off topic, but, uh, I guess taking it back to the America stuff, there's just so many problems, man. And this was all before the elections. And I was just like, man, I'm getting out before that whole mess.
Mhm. Mhm.
And, not to bring it anywhere politically, but, I knew that no matter who was going to be in office, nothing was going to change. And you just have to come to that realization that, man, like, and it's not perfect here politically, but at the same time, it's more stable. It's more, people aren't at each other's throats for political reasons. And, I mean, I could go off all day on the reasons that
Yeah.
you're leaving the US, but,
Yes.
primarily is where am I at? What age am I? What are the economic realities and also the economic impossibilities?
Mhm.
Or taking this path of rat racing it and just like absolutely destroying my mental health to get
Mhm.
this salary, get this title, get this thing that I might not even reach until whatever X age, whatever, you know?
Mhm.
So, that was pretty much it.
Great stuff, dude. I'm
Yeah.
so convicted at what I think about the low quality life in the US that, like, I can't even relate to, like, why people wanna live in that country anymore.
Yeah.
Sure, I get it. You live in Miami. Mine sucks. Whatever.
Yeah.
Mine sucks.
Yeah.
Um, this thing I think about this because, like, it makes a good point that, okay, I'm at X age, and where do I think I'm going to end up in, say, a decade from now or 5 years from now if I stay here?
Yeah.
Bro, it's so it's not good. It's not enjoyable. Let's just say everything goes well.
Yeah.
You run the rat race and you beat the rest of the rats, which is that is the American dream. It's to run the rat race and win.
Yeah.
Um, you beat the rats. Boom. You got your promotion. You make $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
You're a C-suite executive, or maybe you started your own company and you're doing well. Okay. Boom. You have money. Great money. Woo. You live in some nice suburb or some, decent urban area. Um, where everything is on the decline. I mean, everything everywhere in the United States, and in a general sense, is on the decline.
Yeah.
Cost of living is through the roof. Your income has to keep going up. You have to keep running the rat race. You can never truly disconnect. You've got there's there's bills for everything. There's insurance premiums, there's fines, there's fees, there's parking tickets, there's credit card interest, there's subscription for this, there's subscription for that. There's you purchased a home. Woo, you became a homeowner. Boom, your AC unit is just went out. 15 grand. You need a new roof. 30 grand. The new assessment turns out your house is too nice and the property value went up. Now your property tax bill increased. Your HOA doesn't want you to put your trash can on the right side of there. You need to put it on the left side. You got fined.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's
Yeah.
just like everything just piles and piles
Oh
and
my
piles and
God,
piles
dude.
and piles. That is the life that awaits you.
Yeah.
You won the rat race. You have a lot of money. Great. Now you have money, but now you have all of the problems that come with it. And the stress remains. The stress stays. And okay, money aside, you're getting absolutely pinched for every nickel and dime you have. That aside, okay, now time to find my wife. Good luck. Good luck.
Uh,
Sure, you can find a Southern belle who's like, all right. But like, especially like if you are watching this now and you're thinking of your dream 10 years from now, bro, that girl's got a vaping addiction. That girl is addicted to her phone. That girl does not respect men. She's probably has way too many tattoos. She's doesn't know how to cook. Um, if I go too much deeper, I'm gonna get canceled. But it's like, yeah, the dating quality just isn't that high.
yeah.
There's of course there's always the diamond in the rough, but for the most part, it's gonna be lower. Okay, your friends. What do you and your friends do? You get a beer and watch the game. You go play golf every once in a while. But your friends are super busy. Everyone's busy. Everyone's got grinding and got work and barely has free time and has X amount of paid leave to go on vacation. And their wives hate them, so they're like dealing with their wives who hate them. And one of them's got like filing for divorce. Um, and then you're raising your kids in an environment that's like lonely and unhealthy, and there's so much antagonistic energy being imposed onto your kids, what they're teaching them in schools, what their friends are telling them. Um, all of their friends, like, sure, you can be a good parent and wait until they're 15, 16 years old to give them a smartphone. Bro, their friends have had a phone since they were 4. All the degeneracy from social media and adult content and all news and all that is still making its way into their brain. Um, the food, oh my god. You're guzzling Red 40 like it's water. You got preservatives and maltodextrin and hormones and yeah, your kid is gonna grow up and he's gonna have half the testosterone levels of the generation prior who had a quarter of the testosterone levels of their grandparents. Um, it's there's so much against you, like, you're having to swim against the current in, like, literally everything to where it's like, "Sure, I get it. You're running the race right now, and you want to see it through, but just think about what awaits you at the end of winning the race. Like, what is it actually gonna be like?" It's dude, take that money, take half that money, take a quarter of that money, make it online, and get out. Go to a place where you can actually design what you want. Is it Paraguay? Probably is. Come down to Paraguay while you're watching this video, but it might not be Paraguay. It can be anywhere else. But the lifestyle of that's available in the modern United States is just it's depressing, man. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. I might be exaggerating, but that's what I do. Um, so yeah, sorry to
No,
go off on that for too long, but
no, I mean, you're right, man.
anything else you want to say on US life or overall life, whatever?
Yeah. The whole U.S. situation. Um, I see what goes on. I keep up with it. Uh, Mostly to understand the context of what people are trying to leave. Um, but I very much live here, and like I said, for 16 months. Try not to go down too many rabbit holes when it comes to the U.S., but
Mhm.
it's everything I predicted. Everything is getting even worse. I left in 2024 last year, but we're almost reaching 2026, and literally everything got worse.
Everything,
Inflation,
everything.
house prices. Okay, maybe it came down 5%. Oh,
When Trump gets
you're
elected, it'll all be fixed.
your $700,000 house price is now what, 650,000. Oh wow, you know what I mean? Like, So
Well, the Fed lowered the interest rates 1.16%.
yeah, people like celebrate that like it's their fucking birthday or some shit. It's just like seriously, like it was such insignificant, like
It's so true.
little positives when it's just crashing at an exponential rate. And most people don't want to accept it, man. Like most people are kind of like what you said, just either in like autopilot or zombie mode. And it kind of makes me sad because yeah, I do have uh and again, I'm at a more critical age to like, figure some shit out, But when you're younger, it's way better to, the younger you are to start this up. But, like, I wish more friends would get on it, they have me as their homeboy back home. But, I tell them all the time, hey, man, if you're serious about this stuff, like, just come get your residency and just sit on it. Maybe you don't have to make the permanent move, but at least come and get your residency figured out. And then, later, then you can take some time figuring out the whole virtual thing.
Right.
And build up those skills too, man. Like I said, I took a big chance, but at the same time, I also did have skills, to fall back on and to be able to find something. But the U.S. is just it's everything that I feared would happen has happened, and even worse. I see I do grocery prices down here. I'll grab what I grab. Is what I got for $100. I'm seeing TikToks go viral for what people get in $100, like 5 things, man.
Bro.
It's like it's
Oh,
insane. Some girl bought 3 apples for like $4.50. In the States, I was like, crap, people are out of their fucking mind, dude. Like, come on, dude. Like, I mean, you're like, okay, that's how it is now. We're approaching 2026. What about 2030?
yes.
So you're telling me you don't want to figure out your residency abroad in a lower cost of the living country? I mean, that would be I mean, for guys who think like us, your number one goal.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And again, I'm
Yes.
kind of lucky and situationally, I was able to jump to permanent residency. That's not most of your cases. You have to go through temporary first, but you guys need to get on it, man, because Americans, probably mostly Americans watching this, but they don't understand the global competition, right? They don't understand that like Europeans are very serious about moving abroad.
Yep.
Canadians are very serious about moving abroad. Australians are, Americans are, but at least like what I've seen, anecdotally, like certainly Europeans, they're number one when it comes to moving, but even like Canadians, like I think per capita, are even more serious too.
Yeah.
Because there's just that the sentiment in America, we're number one, let's fix it, let's make America great again, let's la 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 la. I'm like, why, dude? You want to spend a lifetime doing that? To try,
You're
I
not.
don't, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you make a point. It's like
yeah,
there are people who are coming down here, and like eventually they can only have so many residency applications. And I might start sounding like Nomad Ali at this point. Like, oh my God, the doors will close one day. Like, you've got to come now.
yeah.
But yeah, like there's a lot of like the Paraguay will only be like in like the early days for so long, and you can only become an early adopter for so long. But when you do, it will pay dividends greatly. Like I've heard of people who went to like Medellin in 2012 and like they are balling there now. Like this place has that potential where like if you set yourself up, you will be in a very good position. And yeah, when it comes to just leaving like the US in general, one point that I hear a lot is like, oh, well, with the US, we have to pay taxes everywhere anyways. It's like, oh, so what's the point? Like, why'd you even come here when you have to pay taxes anyways? It's like, bro, you're missing like 99.9% of the point. It's like,
So true.
what are you going to do? Just be like, oh, well, if I leave, I still have to pay taxes. So therefore, I'm just going to stay. You lose, IRS wins. They got you. Citizenship-based taxation kept you in the financial matrix. You lose.
What a sad philosophy. Everything comes down to taxes. Like
Yes.
you're basing your entire life off of that.
Yes.
Like nothing else, man. Come on.
Or because a lot of it is just like money. Like Americans, we're so money brained
Yeah.
that it's like, oh well, I went to college and I got a 4-year degree and I have student loan debt and I can make $120,000 if I stay in Atlanta, Georgia, or Dallas, Texas, or Tampa, Florida. Um, but if I get a remote job, they might only pay me $60,000. That's half off. But bro, who cares? Like, yeah, you can have, sure, like, keep in mind, cost of living is way, way higher over there. And we also have the foreign income exclusion, not to go down that rabbit hole, but especially if you're a 1099 independent contractor like myself, bro, I'd pay very little. IRS, turn off the video. I pay so fucking little. Um, but it's not all about money. Screw your money. You can have, like I said, you can be making $250,000. You can be making $500,000 a year. The US is only going to find every way it can to suck it out of you, to take every last dollar. And while you're at it, they're going to put you on antidepressants and they're going to feed you crappy food and to make you feel like crap. And your kids are going to be all messed up. And it's socially isolating. And I'm going back on the exact same point I made earlier. Like I somehow I find my way into the same just like monotone about why life in the US is so abysmal.
It's true, man.
But yeah, I want to stick on that. Like, sure, you maybe you can make more working in person over there, but just think beyond that, man. Like, think about your future, think about the life you actually want. And yeah, there's growth in other parts of the country that there's in other parts of the world that theirs isn't available anymore. Um, and tell your American friends and family to respectfully shut up if they hate on you for leaving. I talk to some people back home who it's just like they really just accept it for what it is. Like they see people traveling like, oh dude, that's so cool. That's so awesome. They don't this is the most dangerous mentality to have. Sure, you can just be like an absolute like 50 IQ you just America stand like, oh no, you Paraguay, the air is brown and the water is undrinkable and they're gonna rob you. All right, whatever. Like disregard those people. They don't count. The most dangerous mindset to have is just like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. No, that sounds great. That sounds awesome. But I don't know. I'm just good here.
The
Uh,
indifferent zombies.
yes, the indifferent zombies. You're doing your thing. You got your degree. You feel some sort of sunk cost, like, oh well, I already have a job here.
Yeah.
I just signed a 12-month lease. I got a dog. Oh my god, don't get a dog. Please don't get a dog. Especially if you're my age. Don't get a freaking dog. Don't sign a 15-year contract on a dog because that thing will anchor you for so.
Hey, but my dog came here with me to
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Bring your dog.
Yeah,
Bring your dog.
you can bring your dog. Let's
You
just
can bring your dog.
so yeah.
But don't get a dog and then think that because I have my dog, I have to stay here forever. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Um, or I have a girlfriend who's like not even that great, and I know that the girls are better abroad, but whatever, she's my girlfriend, and I guess I'll just stay with her just cause.
Yeah.
Don't think like that. Don't be indifferent. Be proactive
Yeah.
and do things intentionally.
Yeah, and you guys, I was in many ways exactly what he was talking about. Like, I knew I was in a failing relationship for the last couple of years. I wanted to stick it out just because that was the thing to do, especially at my age. Like, I was just like, well, I got to make this shit work, right? That's just what we do as men, right? And it was the biggest blessing that we didn't work. Like, I mean, it freed me from all the stuff we had to do together, and
Yeah.
just having her in my ear, and light
Yep.
planning, and of thinking about the future emotionally instead of logically, and so it was just a mess, man. And I see a lot of my guys back home, they're still going through it. They haven't, like, unfortunately, it takes a lot of guys, something kind of drastic to happen, some kind of wake up call in their life, whether it be a divorce, a breakup, some huge shift in mindset, before they come to a realization. But try not to get to that point. Try to do it young, and stay, and, like, not lose yourself for years, man. Like that, I did, like, straight up, just, like, mentally, like, every single way that you could, like, just kind of lose yourself in the matrix. I did, and again, I thought I was kind of just doing the right thing, but looking back, I was like, damn, dude, those are just insignificant years that I felt like I just lost. Like, I wish I would have even done this channel, like, fucking years ago. When I was coming down on my trips, we were talking about that, before we even hopped on, but, like, I was just like, dude, and not trying to make everything about regrets, but seriously, the reason that we have these conversations is so that you guys can start to wake up and see the light, and hopefully it doesn't take something drastic, and you wake up, hopefully at, like, your age before you get to my age, and then wake up, and start to think and plan out your life in a good way, and your retirement. That, like, this moving abroad thing is not just for, like, having fun now, but it's to get your documentation in order so you can come here and live off of, and a very humble amount. And also by that point, it's like pretty much all of us are gonna have some kind of property paid off. But whether it's like, because you guys have, hopefully you guys go back and see my channel, but I show $40,000 townhomes here.
Yep.
I show $70,000, $80,000 duplexes. I mean, these are unimaginable prices in the States. So I mean, but, you guys can get a house here for what uh, people are paying for a car back home. So you're really setting yourself up for a good life when you come here, and that's real future planning.
Yeah.
Because you know what really scares me are all the numbers that come out in the headlines about how much you need to save. Like, oh, now you need like $2.3 million to retire in the States. I'm like, damn, dude, like this that don't sound fun to think about. But also there's opportunities, man, and, like, just taking the chance, like, this channel, it's it's something that actually is meaningful for me.
Yes.
Like, you get a little bit more meaning back in your life when you do something different, you know?
Yes.
Uh
Yes.
and you do your contents as well. And it feels good to do something entrepreneurial, something different, to show people, to inspire people, to get conversations rolling, to get younger people to figure out the life abroad, and all that good stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, quick point on the house. Say that $70,000 duplex. You might think like, oh, that duplex is a shithole. No, it's not. I'm gonna
No.
tell you why. First of all, it's quite literally not a shithole. It's decently nice. It's modern. It's
Up to the year.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's brand new.
Yeah.
It's not sure you can win the race and buy your $485,000, 4-bedroom, 3-bath home with a garage and a man cave. And oh, if you're lucky, you can get a swimming pool or a home theater, or you have a basement with a pool table. Ha ha ha. Great. Bro, you come to a place like this, you have you have your savings, you have your investments, maybe you work online, um, you have your income, your things are more modest, but you walk out your front door and you know your neighbor. You walk to the mall and you feel safe and you feel welcomed, and your wife is beautiful and takes care of you, and you're you're eating healthy food, and it's like, yes, like you're not as luxury, you might not be living as luxuriously. But yeah, you're just not worrying about as much stuff. And I felt like I'm speaking kind of from the point of view of someone who's retired, but like I value that stuff now at 23, like very greatly. Um, and then yeah, also you mentioned being able to grow and being able to build things and build a purpose that goes beyond yourself. Bro, in the US, you work your job, and that's about it. You work your job, you have your girlfriend who's slowly gaining weight every single day. You have your friends who are probably also gaining weight. And and uh, who yeah, who you see like once every 3 months. Um, and that's it. Like that's your lifestyle. Like making content, or starting a business, or um starting like social circles, like hosting things, like stuff like that is just so much more difficult to do there, in large part because a lot of the ideas have already been tried. It's such a saturated marketplace for everything.
Yeah.
um Here you can come and bring that American entrepreneurial mindset into a place that's a lot less competitive. And sure, you might not be able to charge your client as much in the short run, but you can make something happen. You can get motion, you can get progress, you can make
Yep.
videos, you can inspire others, and like that brings you so much joy. Um, and yeah, like that's purpose, that's passion. Like that's something that you can like wake up and really look forward to every single day, instead of waking up at 6:45 a.m. as soon as your iPhone alarm goes off, and getting right in the shower and going to the same office you've been to 1,500 times already. It's yeah, it makes life more livable.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Then like, well, when you get down here, your happiness factor goes up.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, you guys take a look at me, right? And like, I'm not, I'm no Mr. fucking Chad, but believe me, I was way worse in the States. You know what I mean? Like to the point where I was having like breathing issues, and plus just even in purely the environment
Mhm.
in the States, as well. So, like, but like you were saying, man, uh, everything just starts to line up, like, but bringing it back to the, the purpose part, because the thing is, you guys, we could make this all about residency and all about cost of living, and but you guys can get that,
Yeah.
right? And then we do separate videos on all that stuff, but like this is the deeper stuff,
Yes.
you know,
Uh,
because like guys don't, a lot of people don't like to talk about this. They don't like to be a little bit vulnerable. They don't like to
mhm.
be a little bit more honest,
Mhm.
right? So like, and I actually know, because of my imperfections, people actually latch on, right? Because it's one
Yep.
thing to follow.
Relatable.
Yeah, well, on a serious note, because it's one thing to follow a Giga Chad who's a multimillionaire with a Ferrari.
Mhm.
You guys, that's a whole nother dating scene.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's, but to bring it down to earth, to understand what it's really like for your average person come from the States, like that's why, and I'm realizing this over the months and now years that I've been doing this. It's not because how polished I am, or how I speak or whatever. Now I speak better than my first video was terrible.
Mm.
but a lot of ums and that's all that stuff. But you get better at this stuff over time, man, and you find your purpose, you find the reason to keep going, man. Because a lot of people don't have a reason to keep going, or they just look at everything as absolutely impossible, which a lot of things kind of are absolutely impossible economically, right? But that's why you need to make it one of your biggest goals to get out, you know? And that's one thing that we all have in common, man, right? That we understand, and we don't need an election to tell us this. It's deep in us. Yeah, for me, it was family and culture and all that stuff, um, but you got to really analyze truthfully, where you're at and where your country's at too. Is it in decline? Answer is yes for most Western countries. And I talk to guys all the time about this stuff. So it's you just got to accept reality. So yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah,
what do you think?
great stuff. Great stuff. Yeah, I think and I wanted to do this, and I think we've done very well in terms
Yeah.
of like really speaking about like what it's like in the U.S. As Americans and in the West, and like what makes us expats. Um, you we got Whistle Man back here. Um, Trying to think of what else to ask.
Yeah.
I got yeah, I got kind of sidetracked.
The whistle threw us off, man.
Yes.
Oh shoot, I should cover that.
Okay. Um, let's talk a little bit more about Paraguay specifically.
Okay.
Give some advice to the viewers who are watching about Paraguay that are a little bit more deep, or that maybe are a little bit more that it's not surface level, right? Like
Yeah.
not like where to stay or
Yeah.
where to how to get residency, like how to really enjoy life about Paraguay and things that you think you can speak on well.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you bring it up all the time, man. It's just the things that you can't measure. It's the people. It's the overall vibes. I guess the one thing you could measure is the youth of this country.
Mm,
It's a very young country. Like, well, we've been doing this interview for a while now,
mhm.
because whatever, we just got done doing mine, but like, it was filled with families at a
Yeah,
cafe.
yeah.
In the US, I mean, you can't even, it's either people on their laptops
No
or,
families.
like, this was families, and not one of them had a headsets in.
Nope.
Some of them, I mean, some of them were curious what we were doing, for sure.
Mhm.
But it's a
No
young.
iPads.
Yeah, yeah, not one iPad. It was just people were, like, enjoying each other's company. You can go to any mall here, and you feel like you're going back in time. I talk to people who say the same thing. Oh, it's like I'm back in the when you talk to older guys, oh, it's like I'm going back in the 80s. For me, it's the 90s or the early 2000s. And you really feel like you're going back to like a more healthy society. And then women are approachable, right? And then, not in the way that you want to like always like hit on them, but like even just sparking up a normal conversation. Hey, where are you from? La, 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 going from there. But even just, like, casually, like, even, when I go to the grocery store and stuff, they're hilarious, man, like, like, the lady said, "Oh, they were fighting over you," like, or something like
Yeah.
that. Like, they're just willing to joke, they're willing to ask you questions, like, "Oh, where are you from?" 'Cause it's very obvious, uh, you know, you could come in with the accent when you see Spanish or whatever, and people are friendly, man. And it's not something that you can quantify, you can put a number on, but it's true. And it's not to say that like all Americans are unfriendly, but when you put it on a societal level, it's nice to be around pleasant people. And then the conversation that we were just having when I interviewed him, um, damn, what was my point? People, shoot, man, I just forgot.
Youth, youth,
Uh,
pleasant, good.
yeah, people have a certain social intelligence here because they grew up with big families, because So they know how to interact, and there's not as many uh weirdos or creeps as there are in the States. There's not the incel culture. Uh, it's very rare to find somebody like that here. People are have had well interactions throughout their life. So there's just not there's not so many like parallel societies or weird groups or whatever. It's
Mhm.
just mostly people just get along, and
Yep.
it's blissful to
Mhm.
just live in a society like that. Like I live in the middle of San Lorenzo here, and I see families all the time. Kids are playing soccer all the time. Neighbors are out all the time. Hell, even the dogs say hi to each other and stuff. It's just like man, this doesn't happen in America anymore. So that's the deep stuff, right? And again, I mean, it goes back to people, really.
You watching this from America, who lives in a like a regular like suburban neighborhood, did any little kid come knock on your door to trick or treat this year?
That's a
It,
good point.
it's November, what is it, November 5th?
Yeah,
Um, November 4th, November 5th. Bro, Halloween is dead.
yeah,
Halloween is dead. And it's a microcosm
yeah,
of the overall feel of the society and the way kids are being raised.
yeah,
The parents are they don't want their kids out trick or treating because they think it's unsafe, because it probably actually is unsafe. Um, the kids would rather like be inside on their iPads. They probably don't even have the attention span to trick or treat. They probably go to one house, and then they get their candy, and then they're like, okay, I got candy, like back to my iPad, like back to
yeah,
Roblox. Because like going to a bunch of houses, like that takes too much time. Um, they yeah, like the no the houses aren't nearly as decorated. That used to be like Halloween decorations, like a thing that like the neighbors would like utilize as like as like a form of like lighthearted competition. Like, oh, I'm gonna have the coolest Halloween decorations. Who gives a fuck if you don't know any of your neighbors?
yeah, for
You
real.
just live in your house, like, oh, like I don't care. Like I'm drowning in bills. I don't know any of my neighbors. Like, why you don't have time to get up on your roof and put up lights? You know what I mean? Um, so it's just yeah. Take that as a recent example for like the cult the societal collapse of America when it comes to just like getting along with one another and feeling a part of a unit, feeling a part of a whole, feeling a part of a community. Um, and then also you mentioned like there's not as many creeps here in places like Paraguay. There's also, from what I gather, now I'm not super informed on this, there seems to be way less drug addiction, way less alcoholism, way less junkies, like people like on the street where you just like, oh, that guy's messed up. Bro, in America, that's like growing and growing and growing and growing.
Yeah,
Saint addicts, alcoholics, rehab houses are packed, psych wards are packed. Well, I like the real like call it bottom of society is growing and growing and growing and growing.
yeah,
And yeah, like that, it makes it feel dangerous. It makes it feel less enjoyable. I know I was trying to like get off of bashing America and like get on to Paraguay, but it's in some ways it's like it's two sides of the same coin. Um, yeah, that's it for now.
but I think it is important to talk about the differences and kind of bash America because, well, number one, you can find a lot of content on Paraguay through his short form now, but no, you're getting into long form too. But also my channel, you can see more daily life. So, but it's good to recognize the differences and I mean that's a good point, man. Like the whole Halloween decorations thing. Like, are people really doing that for the joy of Halloween? No, they're doing that to outdo each other. It's part of the rat race culture. Like, I mean, who cares, man? If you only maybe know one neighbor, but like you know what I was doing this last weekend? I was hanging out with my former neighbor. Because we kept that relationship going. So I went to his house over here for an asado, and karaoke and all that stuff, man. And so um yeah, there's just good vibes here, man. Paraguay, Latin America, but Paraguay even more so.
Even more.
And you're more well traveled than I am. But I hear from other guys too that have gone to other Latin American countries and countries around the world that Paraguay really is special in that regard. Um, yeah, but I guess bringing it back, like more profound stuff too. Like certainly the dating scene is way better.
Mhm.
Guys find their wives here. Now it doesn't happen immediately.
Right. Takes time.
And yeah, and you shouldn't rush this stuff. But I met plenty of older guys who have found great wives, all that stuff. Yeah, it's fun to like, do the casual dating and all that too. But you could put money that there's a better chance that you could find a nice wife here than in the States. And literally, literally you getting the stats for that as well. Less of a divorce rate, all that stuff as well. So
Mhm.
it's just and again, we there's actual true culture here. Mixed native but also very Catholic as well. So people hold on to their values. And so many times in the States, maybe your only value is making money. Maybe your only value is just maximizing fun. Quick thrills, that kind of thing. But here you can find, like, again, going back to like more purpose and more meaningful stuff to live for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. And yeah, I mean, to throw a little bit more heat onto the saucy topic of dating. Yeah,
Yeah.
here you notice that just like the dynamics between men and women it's more natural, it's more fluid. Um,
More traditional gender roles too.
yes, yes. But it's not like I mean, I feel like I don't even have to address this. Like you watching this, you're probably not like probably a little bit smarter than this, but it's not like, oh, the women are barefoot and pregnant and they don't have a say in society. No, they have a very strong say in society.
Yeah.
It's like they strike a very good balance here between like women being very respected, meaning especially older women are like very, very, very respected, just like older men are, while also being quite feminine. And I noticed like some girls are able to do a very good job here of like when they're out in the world, they support themselves well, they know how to do things, they might even know how to change a tire. Huh. They like what I'm getting at is they know how to they're very capable. They can take charge when they need to.
Yeah.
But as soon as they're around their man, they let all they I'm not gonna let all of it go, but they fall into their feminine.
Yeah. They retreat into it. Yeah.
And they appreciate that. They like being the woman when they're with their man, and they like just being a normal part of a functioning society when they're not. Whereas in the West, a lot of times it's like you have to pick one or the other. Um, and most of the girls are tend to be more masculine. But it's not even in a way where it's like they're functionally masculine. They're like dysfunctionally masculine.
Wait,
Like they're like they think that like
I've
they
never
don't
heard
need
that.
you, and they think that they can do things better than you, but they fail to do so. And then when they're with you, they're like shit testing you all the time.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's more sane. It's more
Yeah.
it's more natural. Um, and yeah, especially if you find yourself if you like being a gentleman, if you like treating your girl like a princess, this is a great place to do it. Uh, and it's it's a breath of fresh air. It's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like, even customs down here, like you get a girl a sunflower on the first day of spring. Like, we don't do that in the States. You know what I mean? But it's a very appreciated thing here. And uh it's just nice, man. It's just nice to be in this society. Um yeah, I don't know if we want to pause and maybe settle up here. I don't know if they're trying to leave. No, but there's people here, right? This is a safe
Yeah,
place.
yeah. I think we're good. We're good.
Okay.
We're good for
Okay,
however long we need.
we're good. We just wanted to check in for a second. Okay. But yeah, the whole, the whole women thing, like, obviously, yes, I guess I've dated. I've put, my thoughts on the channel and cultural elements, my own story, or whatever experiences. I mean, but also, I've seen this play out, just in my family. Like, I know how the women are in my family, and I know how they operate, and everything that he's saying is spot on with the, being very capable of, very logical too. I mean, the only caveat I'll put on that is like some of the younger ones down here are really starting to turn into Instagram babies.
They're more westernized.
Yeah, but but that doesn't mean that all of them are, and some of them really do have a good head on their shoulders, but they understand the value that a man brings to a relationship, and that's just something that's really fucking failing in the States,
Hmm.
and there's just so much combative energy in the States, and, and not only that, but, the economics always plays all into this too, so if you're both just, like, that aren't coming together, to terms on certain things, like, for example, maybe the girl wants to buy a $650,000 house, and you're like, "We can't afford that." Well, that's gonna cause friction in the States, you know what I mean? Um, uh, you know, but, here it's like, "Okay, well, what's reality? What can we do? Can we, work as a team, together to figure out some of these things?" And a realistic goal, because and you gotta remember too, when women here are very humble, most of them come from very humble beginnings. So even you buying that $40,000 house, that could be something that she's like, I've never been in something that's so modern, like, to live in ever in my whole life.
Yeah.
So you'll be respected. You don't have to have the flashiest, craziest, penthouse in Asuncion. You could have just a cozy little townhome or duplex, in San Lorenzo or whatever, and you'll be respected for it, Again, take your time with actually finding the right one, because there are opportunities here, and I'm not saying that it's perfect.
Hmm.
But at the same time, just taking your time with women, but overall, the comparisons and the comparative aspects of this, is all overall is better. I don't think it's really any secret anymore.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, uh, so yeah.
One point I want to make in terms of like the goals that you can have here as it pertains to dating.
Mm.
First of all, we kind of beat this horse dead on the last one. Um, it's not the place where you should come to just like be a passport bro sexpat and try to just run through a bunch of girls. Um,
Mm.
because one, you're not going to have that much success. Two, you have to be here for a long time in order to really establish yourself when it comes to dating. And three, you're just not going to be as well received by the society in general. That energy just isn't really appreciated here.
Yeah.
Um, Nor will the expats appreciate you either. For the most part, we're more serious. And it's just like, yeah, if you come to us and only thing you want to talk about is dating, I'm not going to invite you to my asado. Um, but don't like, okay, a lot of people they think of, I want to travel because I have a gringo advantage. Sure, maybe you do. Here, you can utilize that gringo advantage, foreigner advantage, in a way that's a lot more fulfilling because it's not just like, oh, I'm coming down and I've got money and I'm gonna take the girls on the nice dates. And I'm gonna run through a bunch of them and rack up bodies. You can have your foreigner advantage by coming down here, learning Spanish, first of all, first and foremost. If you don't speak any Spanish, you have to learn it in order to truly get the most of it to some extent. Um, and just being humble, being a good person, making friends, so important. We talked about it last week as well. You have to make friends with guys and girls in order to have a good dating life. The social life has to come first. The social life has to come before the dating life. You can't cut the line. You can't go straight to having a bunch of chicks without having a good social life, or at least having connections, right? So, you know,
Well, you can, but it's bound to fail.
right. It's unsustainable.
Yeah.
Um, so you come down here, you have you're good at your good social life. You speak a little bit of Spanish, and essentially, what you can get is you can have that foreigner advantage coming from a good place. Now it's like, oh, you're a part of the culture. You kind of feel like one of them. You know your way around the place. You've been here for a little bit. You speak a little bit of the language, and you're a foreigner. On top of that, and you earn in the Western currency. Say you are like a Giga Chad digital nomad. You know, you're 28 years old and you make $20,000 a month off of your SMMA or whatever. You have an AI agency and you make crazy money and the cost of living down here feels like peanuts. Boom, great. You can have all of that while having genuine relationship with these girls. And what I think that ultimately translates to is you can find a girlfriend and or a future wifey that really, 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 really appreciates you. Damn, we're getting we're getting cut off here.
Okay.
Um, but
Yeah, I get that.
uh, But yeah, you can find your one. You can have a very good, wholesome relationship with a girl who you are quite literally irreplaceable to. That is your foreigner advantage. You can be completely irreplaceable while being a very good person. It's not about running through a bunch of bodies. It's about being the best person you can. And you're a foreigner, you are a catch, and you are respected and appreciated. That is the perfect combination.
Yeah.
So we'll pause here for a second.
Yeah. We'll pause here.
And that was
First,
hey, and then kind of outro.
yeah.
Sí.
Sí. Ya no estamos filmando. Oh, sí, vamos a cortar ese.
Sí.
Parte. Sí, no, good. I can get there.
Yeah, I know. I got you. You invite me out. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. All right. Uh, no, that's
Muchas gracias. ¿Está bien si terminamos en 5 minutos acá filmando? Ok. Genial. Gracias.
perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect.
Oh, yeah, we're still rolling.
Yes.
Okay.
Still rolling. So we are back. We just paid for our ice cream. Um, but yeah, we talked about what makes Paraguay good. We talked about what we were running from in the US and the decline. We talked about some dating. Anything else you want to bring up that you think would be good for the viewer? You think it would be good for like kind of like you asked me, like, a young guy, um, yeah, someone who's like maybe 20s, 30s,
Yeah.
who's interested in the type of life that we're living, but maybe hasn't done it just yet.
Yeah. So, I get contacted by a lot of people, right? And the majority are older, or nearing retirement or retirement age, which is perfectly fine. We want everybody here, really, truly. But a big part of my channel is to inspire the younger guys, right? The guys who are facing things like a housing crisis, uh, uh, astronomical inflation, but you're barely getting out of college, or you're on your first what do you call it? Uh, starter job out of college, right? And you feel stuck. Well, I mean, well, you gotta be realistic about the options that you have, right? You go down the line in the States. Yeah, you can make as much money as you possibly can. A guy like yourself could, young, dynamic, and willing to take on things like difficult sales roles. Like that's not easy, man. I'm in sales and there's not nothing easy.
Mm.
Right? But most people aren't. Most people want uh life where that is actually possible to pursue. So, one of the biggest things that we brought up in the last video, but try to make it one of your biggest goals to get online skills, then get something online. Anything, and if it takes 3 to 5 years, make it your biggest priority, right? And then also, set yourself up for this sets you up for retirement, man. Like living in a lower cost of living country, getting a property under your name, whether it's a condo, $30,000 condo. And again, I'm talking like still modern, but like lowest like prices, right? Like obviously you can splurge and get some incredibly fancy, or a mansion in San Bernardino, obviously, but like just keep it more realistic. Like okay, let's take the step by step to get abroad, right? And just make it one of your biggest priorities, right? And also, start as young as humanly possible. Start at his age. Try not to crash out for years like I did, like a lot of us guys did, in our mid 20s, late 20s, early 30s, and try to have your wake up moment before something drastic happens. And then just have courage, man. Just have courage to take the leap. Have courage to yes, come here, explore it. Then set yourself up for the next time your residency if you really vibe with the place. And just keep taking the steps and then have courage to do something positive with your life. And and then surround yourself by good people. Yes, surround yourself by good people. you know. So that's pretty much it.
Awesome. 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 Yeah, I think those are good final words. Yeah. Make it happen. Find good people, find yourself, and hit us up. Hit us up. Last little bit of plugging. My Best Life Paraguay on YouTube, Instagram, all platforms, right?
Pretty much all. Yeah,
Awesome.
mainly YouTube.
Yep. Yeah. My stuff is more short form for now, but yeah, you want good, solid YouTube. Again, you've probably already seen him, but in case you haven't, go watch his channel. Um, and he's got tons and tons of content, so you can go down and learn a bunch of stuff about Paraguay. And yeah, hit us up when you're down here. There's an awesome community that's gonna be waiting for you, and this place is the future. Watch this video now, but when you watch our videos in 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now, we're going to be speaking about a completely different country, and hopefully only ways that are positive. So we will see you here soon. Stay tuned for more content. Perfect.
Thanks, my man. Thanks.